Good morning, Junior 3. How are you? Today we are going to talk about magnetic and non-magnetic materials. First, what is magnet? Magnet attracts anything which is made up of iron or contains iron. Okay, so magnet attracts anything which is made of iron or anything contains iron. Does all the materials or all the substance attract to magnet? No. We found it. There are some materials which attract to the magnet and some other materials which cannot attract to the magnet. Let's see it. Here is the magnet. Here is the magnet. These are two shapes of magnet. If I try to attract this material, it can't attract it. But what about these materials? I found that it can attract it. Okay? So there are some materials which cannot attract to the magnet and some other material which can attract to the magnet. Okay? These materials which is attract to the magnet is called magnetic materials. Magnetic materials. Magnetic materials are the materials which can attract to the magnet, while the non-magnetic materials are the materials which cannot attract to the magnet. Okay? So magnetic materials are the materials which can attract to the magnet, while the non-magnetic materials are the materials which cannot attract to the magnet. Like what? The magnetic materials, as we said, that they are the materials which can attract to the magnet, like iron and steel. These are magnetic materials. What about the non-magnetic materials? Non-magnetic materials are the materials which cannot attract to the magnet. Like what? Like plastic, wood, paper. All of these are examples for non-magnetic materials. Okay? Now, can you see this magnet? How many ends it has? We found that the magnet has two ends. These two ends are called poles. These two ends are called poles. So the magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. North pole and south pole. The north pole, as you see here, is represented with N, and the south pole is represented with S. Okay? You can see it here also. The north pole is represented with N, and the south pole is represented with S. Okay? So any magnet has two poles, north pole and south pole. As you know, that the Earth has also its north pole and south pole. We found that the magnet, when it stops moving, its north pole also points to the north pole of the Earth, and its south pole points to the south pole of the Earth. From this, we had made the compass. Here is the compass. Do you know compass? I use it to know the four main directions. I use the compass to know the four main directions. How? We find here in its center there is a needle. This needle is a magnetic needle. This needle is a magnetic needle. It has, of course, its north pole and its south pole. You can see this needle is moving, right? When it stops moving, always its north pole points to the north pole of the Earth. Again, always the magnetic needle, its north pole points to the north pole of the Earth. Okay? We use compass in seas, desert, air to know the directions. What about attracting and repelling? Attracting means that it gets close to each other. Repelling means gets away from each other. Okay. If I put two magnets close to each other, okay, and I put the North Pole close to the South Pole, I found that they attract each other, okay? When I put the magnet, the North Pole of a magnet close to the South Pole of another magnet, I found that it attracts each other, okay? But if I put the North Pole of a magnet close to a North Pole of another magnet, I found that they repel each other, okay? They doesn't attract each other, they repel each other, okay? Also, with the other magnet, if I put the North Pole of a magnet near to a South Pole of another magnet, I found that they attract each other. But if I put the North Pole of a magnet close to the North Pole of another magnet, they repel each other. You see? They repel each other. Okay? Clear? Okay. Now, does the magnet loses its magnetism? Does the magnet lose its ability to attract magnetic substance? Yes. How? By heating or knocking. By heating, if I heat it, or I knock it, okay? Or I drop it at the land, okay? If a magnet, I heat it or I knock it several times, it loses its magnetism. As you see here, the magnet attracts the magnetic substance. But now, if I take these magnets and I knock it like this, I found that it loses its magnetism. It can't attract magnetic substance. Okay? Clear? Here is the magnet and here is the magnetic substance. I found that it doesn't attract. Okay? By that, we have finished our lesson, which is magnetic and non-magnetic substance. Thank you.